All Over the Road New Orleans is brought to you by CoinTrader Inc. Mind your money, and recorded in front of a live studio audience.
What can I do for you, Tipton?
Thank you. I'm looking for women's lingerie.
Honey?
Uh-huh.
Who the lingerie for?
Well, for me, of course.
I don't know about you wearing the lingeries. You know, those days are over, honey. Somebody should have told you it's past. The lingeries is for young people with tight, firm stuff. What I would suggest you do, Hunty, I would suggest you walk across the street to Target and ask them for some those really nice big girl draws so that you will be comfortable. You don't want to walk around with a slingshot up your butt.
Eileen, come, let me help you.
You are so rude.
Oh, sister. No, you are the one that's rude anytime you bring lingerie to a man.
This is Teddy, the little Teddy, wishing you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from All Over the Road, my granddaddy's podcast.
Merry Christmas from all of us and all over the road to all of you.
Thank you. Ah, yes, it's that time of year again. Yeah. Chestnuts roasting on Jesus was born. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And this. And then there's this.
Didn't ask for her permission.
Okay.
I'm wearing her clothes, her silk pantyhose, walking around in women's underwear.
Okay. He's wearing her clothes, the silk pantyhose. Just walking around.
Like
inner delicates, Teddy.
It holds me so tight like handcuffs at night. Walking around in women's underwear.
Now, you know, the American people, they turned their back on this kind of stuff. Really? They said no more women's underwear, no more fishnet stockings. They said no more tampons in the bathroom.
No more.
Stop it. No more. Stop that crap.
Fed up enough. We've had enough of this stuff.
You got a penis, you're a guy.
That's right.
You got a vagina, you're a girl.
Yeah, no two ways about it.
I mean, you know, the American people said that. That's not me saying that.
People have spoken.
That's the mandate.
It's a shame that we had to vote on it.
And these guys.
Well, we did, kind of. You know what I mean?
These volleyball guys playing with the volleyball girls.
Yeah.
Spiking at 140 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Breaking noses, breaking nails.
Yeah, so.
What's worse, you break a nose, you break your nail. I mean, you know, nails are expensive.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Very expensive.
Our Christmas show is coming up. Okay, and our Christmas show, tell you what we're going to do, and that's why we're playing this beautiful song.
Yeah.
We're going to do something. We're going to go back into the archives, okay? Mm-hmm. It's All Over the Road, the podcast from beautiful Lakeview, New Orleans, Louisiana, the new and improved CoinTrader Studios. I'm the king of all podcasting, Victor Del Tono, with my sidekick and brother, Ted Semper.
So happy to be here.
Happy holidays to all of you. Sorry we haven't been around in a while. I've been gone doing some traveling, and I want to thank Ted and his beautiful wife Hazel for doing that great Thanksgiving show. I hope you had a chance to hear it. If you didn't, go back and listen to it. It was very warm.
You know,
cozy. It was cozy.
She insisted on being on that podcast. I just want to let you know. She probably won't hear this, so I can say whatever I want. She said she has no voice. She kept saying, I have no voice.
What do you mean she has no voice?
On the podcast. I said, you have a voice. You're on every podcast at the beginning and then periodically through, because she's the voice of the podcast.
She is, her and the announcer.
But she said she has no voice to where she can. I said, okay.
I see.
We're going to change that.
Yeah, she's looking for a platform is what she's looking for.
Yeah, she wanted to say a few things because I got a lot to say.
She wants to say something from the stump.
Yeah.
Stump. Oh, man. So anyway, what we're going to do for the Christmas show is we're going to go back into the archives and pick out a show we did a few years ago, which was the top 10 New Orleans Christmas songs of all time.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of our subscribers, listeners, followers, they're not in New Orleans. A lot of them are.
Yeah.
This will give you a chance, in case you just joined the program, to hear that fantastic Blockbuster show.
Oh, yeah.
It was a block. And I think
it was huge.
That's when me and Ted were in our primes at that time.
A couple years back.
We're
on the downslide now.
Yes, we are.
We peaked and now we're sliding down the hill.
We have diminishing skills. Skills.
Yeah.
Coming up in this very show, hopefully we'll get hold of my brother Michael. My brother Michael.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's been a while since we have.
I know it's been like years, but the only way I can get him on is to surprise him and just like I'm calling him and seeing what's going on.
Like don't set it up ahead of time and say, "Hey, can you be on the show next week?" Like, no, I'm busy, because he's always busy.
And the reason
he's hosting a national talk show.
That's what I mean. The reason why he'll pick up is because unfortunately, we've had to make some arrangements for my mom, who had to make some different living arrangements because of her health, and so I know he's going to pick up. So we're going to talk to him.
Okay.
Well, also, I want to talk a little bit about the lighting of the tree in Rockefeller Plaza. I just got back from New York, as you know, And you were there shortly before.
I was
me.
there like the week or maybe 2 weeks before you. So I was there prior to all the Christmas lights being lit. So I missed that, but you were there for it, I guess.
Yeah, I was there, and we initially, when I was with my my nephew, who is an FBI agent, and which was really cool, is because he's an agent. Now he's bringing his gun with him on the plane, so he was the air marshal.
Really?
Yeah. So whenever, and this is how it works. They don't assign a marshal to every plane.
Okay.
What it does, it's like a police officer or an FBI agent or someone or the military, or someone in the military
happens to be on that flight.
Happen to be on that flight, and they want to bring their firearm, and then you go through. And it's really interesting the procedure you go through. You know, in other words, you don't go through security. You go in through the exit. You have to have a little meeting with the flight attendants. You have to have a little meeting with the pilots. You know,
I mean, like on the day of the flight, before you're boarding the plane,
right before you board.
So this isn't set up ahead of time.
Oh,
It's
no.
Okay,
it's not set up ahead of time.
So the flight attendants, the crew, the plane.
He shows up at the airport. He's carrying.
Yeah.
He shows up. He's carrying. He's concealing. He's carrying. He goes to the exit. He shows his badge, his agent badge, and then they go through the process of meeting everybody. And he has to get a little slip of paper, and which was really kind of interesting. You know,
the whole process.
And then
how long does that all take?
It doesn't take long at all.
Okay,
it doesn't take long at all. I mean, this is how it works. He met with them. He went through security. I'm TSA pre, so I was shortly behind him. Then we were at the gate. He talked to the gate agent. From there, they walked him down. He talked to the flight crew. He talked to and then he's back waiting in line like a regular Joe.
Okay.
You know, well, on the way there, he wanted to sit in the back so he can look and see all the way down the front of the plane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
So he's sitting, we're in the very back row.
Okay.
Right. So in the very back row, the seats don't recline.
That's true.
They don't.
Nowhere to go.
And the seats just getting, either they get smaller and smaller, I'm getting bigger and bigger. But I was in one aisle and he was in the other aisle. So we're next to each other, but there was an aisle between us.
Okay.
All right. Well, and the flight was completely full from New Orleans to LaGuardia. All right. And so next to him was this female couple, both females, both of them on the large side.
Okay.
On the one of them very large size.
Yeah.
Side. So he's like, you know, and they're like spilling over into him, and he wouldn't put the armrest down. I'm going, dude, put down the freaking armrest.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Once the armrest is down, they can't spill over into you. Now, they can spill over into you on top of the armrest, but they can't get into your seat. They can't get into your seat space.
It sets a little boundary.
Yeah, it's about, and he would not. I'm telling you,
why not?
I don't know. So he takes the armrest because, you know, in the aisle, your armrest, when you're in the aisle, you can move that armrest. Did you know that?
Yeah.
You can flip it up.
Yeah, up and down.
Now, during take up and landing, they don't want you doing that. They do, you know. So here he is. He's got that up, and he's kind of like, he's got like a 2 or 3 inches, and these people are like, they're having a good time.
Yeah,
they're having a good time. He's an law enforcement officer. And so he's like, oh. So now me, I'm sitting the other side, and I got next to me someone. Okay, listen, I'm just going to tell. I'm gonna say
it. Just say it.
I didn't know what they were. You know,
okay. Like,
because remember we talked about
like an M or an F.
Well, we talked about it a while back. We talked about there's male, female, and then there's I can't tell.
Yeah,
okay, like Pat. Remember Pat on Saturday Night Live?
Yeah,
hey, I'm Pat, and nobody knew what Pat was, and they would ask her what questions.
Yeah.
All I know, I assumed it was a female, and to be, you know, honest, I thought it was a female in transition. It was a big female in transition. Yeah. It was definitely a female face, female features, but she had facial hair, you know.
Yeah.
So there she is. She's got a hoodie on. She's got
in the middle seat next to
middle seat next to me. She's spilling over into me, and so what I do is I get I get a drink. I get a soft drink. I get a soft drink. Okay. Well, these soft drinks, when they give you the whole can, I don't want the whole can. You know, just give me a little soft drink. I don't want the whole can. Okay. So, actually I didn't get a soft drink. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I got a tomato juice.
Okay.
All right. And they gave me the whole can.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the tomato juice can, I had it on the tray. It was kind of slippery, and I went and grabbed it. It slid off the table and onto her slacks.
Or it's
yeah. And but I was quick like a cat. And I grabbed it before it spilled all over her. So there's like 3 or 4 little spots. And she's like,
quick reaction there. Way to go.
The person is really upset about it. I'm going, oh, wait a minute.
But it didn't spill.
It
You
did
said.
spill.
Oh, it did spill a little bit? Oh,
Khakis,
okay.
khakis. But they were like the kind of khakis that are kind of stretchy and like the water would beat off of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Water would
yeah,
beat-
that certain material that's like that.
So
Yeah.
I'm thinking, okay, so I get the flight attendant, bring me some towels, and I bring some towels, and I get it up, and she's doing it with the one. She's really upset. I said, you know what? I said, what really works good is soda water, some seltzer. Yeah, some seltzer, not salsa, seltzer. Seltzer.
Seltzer water.
Schweppes. Seltzer. Yeah, tonic is seltzer water.
What I'm drinking right now.
Right there. It's a seltzer.
Well, I'm drinking the Pellegrino. But,
it's a Pellegrino. No, but it's got to be a seltzer because there's something about the seltzer.
Well, yeah, it's strong. It does. It's got something in it, right? It'll fix that spot.
So the flight attendant, I go, try the seltzer. She's like, she don't want to talk to me. The person doesn't want to talk to me.
Ooh.
The person's upset. Just try the seltzer. Here, try the seltzer. I'm trying now. I got all these towels everywhere.
Oh,
everywhere.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so the flight was kind of crazy.
So was the person who you spilled on, were they with the person on the window seat?
No.
No, they weren't
The person
even
on the window seat slept the whole
They're
damn
like-
time.
they're like
They're
out of it.
out of it.
They're
Out.
maybe not even aware of what's
Not
happening.
even, had no idea what
And
was going
this
on.
at the beginning of the flight or how
This
far
was at the beginning of the flight. So we
yeah.
did the seltzer, and I will say this, by the end of the flight, the seltzer did do its job.
Okay. Did the person thank you?
No,
for your help?
But the person
and-
did say, you know what? That really did work.
Okay, well that's what more can you expect then, I suppose.
And I don't want to spend too much time on it, but on the way
Well,
back, the way back, there was even another issue because on the way back, there were two of the, these emotional dogs that people got to have.
like support dogs.
Yeah,
or
support dog.
pet or-
These emotional dogs. So there was one support dog,
Yeah.
and in this instance, okay, I was sitting, and when you're in the back of the plane, it takes you 45 minutes to get off the damn plane. I never sit in the back of the plane, but he wanted to sit in the back.
Yeah, when you sit in the back, you're gonna wait.
Right. So on the way back, he goes, I'm not sitting in the back. I'll sit in the front and look back. It's okay, fine. He's the fire. He's the air marshal. He does whatever he
Well,
wants.
nobody knew.
Nobody knew.
None of the passengers knew.
No, just
so
me.
you didn't have any incidents.
Yeah, but on the way back, you know me, I got a big mouth. I know it's on the way back. On the way back.
Yeah.
All right. So here's just what's going on the way back.
Okay.
All right. He's sitting in the aisle. This is second row. Are you sitting in the aisle? There's a young University of Maryland student, young lady, sitting in the middle, and I'm in the window seat, which I'm never in the window seat because it cuts off on your space a little.
Yeah.
You know, you can get a little extra head space if you lean against the window. You know, you got to, but then you get a
Yeah, I
kick
know
in your
what you
neck
mean.
and all that crap. You know.
Yeah.
So we're all sitting there, and the first thing that I notice is that the girl is doing her homework, and she pushes like a button or says something, and then this thing starts going and it's doing her homework. And I look over to her and I go, "Is that AI?" And she goes, "Yes, it is."
Okay.
You should have seen this. Okay, I did a little test on my own. What you do is you get one of these AI apps, and you just say, like, for instance, Detroit Tigers,
Right.
and they will tell you everything you need to know about the Detroit Tigers, everything. So she's doing this paper, doing something, and she's using the AI. And I look at her and I go, "Is that considered cheating?" And nice young lady.
That's a legitimate question.
That's all I want. Is that? And she
Right?
says,
She
"Yes,
says-
it is."
She says yes.
So now,
But she doesn't care. She's still using
well, listen, thinking back to my academic past,
it. Yeah.
I wouldn't have cared.
Well, I mean,
cheated,
neither, of course.
but I didn't have
But,
AI.
Yeah.
I didn't have AI. I had Wendy Donato.
Yeah, Wendy.
I had Wendy Donato.
Did she consider it cheating?
She was AI.
She didn't care either.
No, she didn't care. She wanted me to
Was she
cheat.
smart?
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Of course,
You
of
wouldn't
course.
use anybody for your human AI back in the
No.
70s?
There was no AI.
Back in a
There
few
was-
years ago,
there
prior
was-
to AI, of course.
There
yes.
was just Wendy Donato.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank God for Wendy. Vic made it through most of his classes, his years of high school. Yeah.
But here's the other thing, though.
Yeah.
Okay, they got these people with these darn dogs. I just talked emotional
Yep.
distress. What they knew what the, you know. Well, one of them was sitting in the row in front of me, and it was like I guess what you would call a blonde lab, a blonde, short haired,
Okay.
yellow lab. They call them yellow labs. Yellow lab.
Yeah.
Probably teenage years, not fully grown. Teenage, not a puppy, kind of in between. And this dog was laying the worst friggin' farts you've ever smelled. Oh my God.
How do you
It
know
was-
it was a dog?
No human being can fart like that.
It was that bad.
No, but not even my grandson Wesley, who farts like a man.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
even- not even him.
Yeah.
The most rancid freaking smell, and it's wafting into me, and we're all smelling it. me, my nephew, the agent in the aisle, the cheating student in the middle. Then on the other side of the aisle, there's another one. All right, another one that wasn't letting the farts, but it just smelled like a mangy mutt.
Jeez.
You could smell that mangy outdoor. You know when the dog comes in, you have a dog. The dog comes in from inside, and right when it comes,
sometimes they just need a bath.
Exactly.
And prior to getting on an airline flight to New York,
so there's this air like moving around with all this smell, and by the way,
that was on the way back.
When you get on an airplane, look, I it's been proven. I'm not a big believer in the mask. I think the only reason you wear a mask is because you're friggin' ugly. I mean, then you wear a mask.
Yeah.
And it helps ugly people, which I'm on the cusp. I have to make my mind up.
Yeah.
Do I want to let everybody see my ugly fat face, or do I want to wear the mask? But I never wear the mask. So, but
for health reasons, it's not really effective.
No, not at all. Right. Not at all. But what is the truth is the germs. Look, we were waiting for the plane. Mm-hmm. The plane shows up. It arrives. All right. We're in the gate. We watch the people come off the plane. We're going to get on. This happens all the time. But I want you to think about something, okay? These people are coming off the plane, and then you get right on the plane. There's not enough time to clean that freaking plane.
Not really.
Of cleaning are they
not
doing?
Really, no.
They're not cleaning nothing.
Like disinfect cleaning.
What can you clean?
No, that's not going to happen.
There's no. The plane is the nastiest place. Yeah. It is so nasty. So, to people, Teddy, anybody listening, please, whatever you do not touch anything on the plane. Wear gloves. That's
not a mask.
Yeah.
Wear gloves.
That's right. Wear gloves.
And you see a few people wearing masks still, like especially when you fly to New York, which I did as well a couple weeks prior. You saw a few people, but not a lot. Not too many.
But we both did what we want to do, and that is we both want to go and sit inside the greatest sports arena of all time, Madison Square Garden, that they just redid. It's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. We're going to talk a little bit about that, including with my brother Michael, New York versus Chicago, the Biden party, bad hotels, and the hotel shooting of a CEO, a $10 million a year CEO, in front of the very hotel we stayed at when All of the Road comes right back. We'll come right back. The election's over.
Yes, it is.
The election's over. A lot of people were freaking out because the election. What do I do with my money? How do I invest? The stock market was going crazy the whole time. Gold up to $2,800 an ounce. So now that the election is over, what are you thinking? You're thinking, well, everything's cool now. I don't need gold. Oh, no. Not so fast, my friend.
Hang on.
Not so fast, my friend. Do you know gold is the only real money? Do you know gold is your only protection against a monetary collapse, like the dollar just going bye-bye? Listen, we're not out of the woods yet. This is a very, very anything can happen world. So what do you do? How do you protect your money? Well, you get something tangible, Ted. You don't sock your money in the bank. You don't sock your money in the sock. You put it into something hard, and that's gold. And the people at Coin Trader Inc. can help you. All you got to do is call them, tell them the King of All Podcasting sent you, and guess what? They're going to give you some free silver. Ooh, absolutely free. They call it minding your money. Look, they've been in business for over 30 years. They're the best in the business. They sponsored this podcast. Give them a call. Coin Trader Inc. Mind your money. And tell them the King of All Podcasting sent you.
We wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from all over the road. This is the announcer guy speaking.
Ladies and gentlemen, from your morning show on the Premier Radio Networks, All Over the Road, the podcast, the king of all podcasting, Victor Del Giorno and Ted Semper. I want to welcome to the show. He hasn't been on in years. Michael Del Giorno, my baby brother.
I'm getting roped into a podcast?
Yeah, that was pretty slick. I like that. That was a good move, Vic. Good move.
He makes it feel like, you know, it's going to be like a genuine call.
It is a genuine call.
It's very genuine, as a matter of fact.
Very genuine.
Now, Andrea wants to know if the bait and switch is going to be in the podcast.
Well,
he said some things.
Yeah, because our editor doesn't pay attention. He doesn't listen to it, so probably slip right by.
The unfortunate thing is that Ted does all the editing, and he tends not to listen to the show.
I am so glad you called today of all days because
See, now you're glad.
I never go on Facebook. Mm-hmm. So I pop on Facebook because some guy's making a movie and he wants me to be in the movie and play a doctor. As you know, I was a doctor for my mother in the hospital recently, so it's not a stretch of a role. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I'm looking for his message on Facebook. Then I start scrolling and there's picture after picture of Ted in Franklin, Tennessee.
What? Really?
This week.
Oh, yeah. Dude,
week.
He went on a road trip.
Yeah.
He packed up the tour bus. He stopped at all these radio stations.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why didn't you just, come and spit on the stoop of my home. I mean, why didn't you?
Well, that's between you two.
I don't think you'd appreciate that, but
That's between you
I
two.
was in Franklin, and it was business, strictly business. You know,
You couldn't take 5 minutes and call me and say, Michael, I'm in town. I can't get together.
I
but
got in late Monday. It was snowing in
Yes, it
Nashville.
was.
Yeah,
Beautiful,
Monday
wasn't
night.
it?
Yeah, but yeah, it was cold, 20s, I think, something like that. And I woke up and had a business thing the next day for EMF. They dedicated their new big building over there in Franklin, right next to Dave Ramsey's place. You probably know where that's at.
But had you been a class act and called me, and I would have told you, I don't have time for you, but it would have been a class.
Exactly. Like the last 10 times I was in town, and hey, Michael, you got some time? Well, not really.
That is not true.
Plus now he
I went
wakes
to your
up
bed and
what ti-
breakfast. You
yeah,
remember?
but you go to bed at like 6:30 or something, don't you?
I tried to. I haven't been
Yeah,
lately.
I know you're an early guy.
But you were in Franklin. Vic was in New York City for the assassination.
You know, Michael, we've been doing this podcast going on our 7th season, and every time on this podcast there's any kind of a conflict, it involves Ted.
Sorry.
Every time.
Well, it's better with me than with you guys who are really true 100% blood brothers. I'd rather be the conflict than it be between Vic and Mike.
Michael, it doesn't matter who's on, and what kind of guest, you know, if anybody's going to piss anybody off over here, it's Ted. And believe you me, I am the peacemaker. Which,
Yes.
no, I don't know what to
It's
say.
a peacemaker.
Well, I'm looking forward to coming to Baton Rouge and posting all the pictures on Facebook. And
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you're going
Yeah.
to Baton Rouge, Michael?
No, but if I did, I
he's
would
just
call.
saying it. Yeah, if he did, he won't call me. Yeah.
All right,
I almost texted you.
Let me get you caught up. Let me get you caught up on my brother Michael. My brother Michael is in Nashville. He's now with Premier Radio Networks. He's got a syndicated morning show. So if you're in a market, for instance, Kansas City, you in Kansas City?
No, St. Louis.
St. Louis. You're in okay. People, we have St. Louis people. St. Louis.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the station in St. Louis?
St. Louis is 104.9 The Patriot.
The Patriot.
Patriot.
The Patriot.
Like
St. Louis, baby.
What is it?
Casey?
KSTL, I think.
KC.
Remember Casey?
Maybe Joe from KC.
Joe
He
from
still
KC.
works there, doesn't he? He's still on the morning show. Well, you took his place. No.
And,
But I don't know what the call letters are, but the Patriot. That's awesome.
The Patriot. The Patriot. It's called Your Morning Show.
Yeah.
So just all you have to do is
Hey, is that like a conservative talk show station? The Patriot?
I don't know if I can remember many, but I know we're on KSTE
yeah.
in Sacramento. We're
Great
on
station.
WREC in Memphis, Tennessee. We're on the Patriot AM and FM in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We're on KTOK in Oklahoma City. We're on WHNZ in Tampa.
You own Oklahoma, of course.
Well,
you
you're
worked
like
there for
coast
many
to
years.
coast.
Yeah.
We're on KEX in Portland. We're on
That's a big station.
KEIB in Los Angeles.
Wow.
We're on in Cleveland and Akron.
And
We're
soon.
We're on in Anchorage. We're on in Washington, D.C. We're on in Dallas. We're on in Phoenix. But no, we're not on in Kansas City. And you know what? I was feeling good about myself until Ted came to town and didn't call.
Yeah.
And now I realize I'm not on in Kansas City.
But soon you're going to be on WOR in New York City, correct?
Well, we don't know yet.
Okay, well, let's hope
We're not allowed to disclose.
Okay, well, nobody listens to this anyway. But yeah, Michael does own the state of Oklahoma. He's been seen many times on many closed circuit cameras.
He's a known face. Yeah. That's right.
He is the star of closed circuit cameras everywhere.
Closed circuit.
We haven't heard that in a while on the closed circuit. So anyway, Michael is correct. I just got back from New York City and got a chance to see the worst sporting event I've ever seen in the world's greatest sporting arena, which is Madison Square Garden. And it's so funny because Teddy, Michael and I were talking on the phone the other day, and I just happened to bring up my trip to New York and my recent trip to Chicago and the difference between the two cities. That, you know, of course, I'm very familiar with the city of Chicago, having grown up there, very familiar with the city of New York, many times that I've been there, many, many, many times, including right after 9/11. I was there 3 days after 9/11 and was there for the first Yankee game. I sat right behind Mayor Giuliani and Maury Povich and Connie Chung, and an eagle came and landed on my shoulder. It was magical. You could still smell the burning in the background. New York City is the greatest city in the world. Yeah. Okay, I'm just saying that. And you know what? And when I went there last week, it's still felt like the old New York City, and that's because the mayor has a freaking clue. The mayor in Chicago doesn't. When I was in Chicago for the 4th of July game with my grandkids, I didn't recognize Chicago. I had mentioned on a previous podcast, so to me, Chicago had lost its soul, but New York, it's still got the magic. It's still got everything. Now, Michael, I don't know if you know this. You know the CEO that just got shot?
Yeah.
It was right outside our hotel.
Well, yeah, no, you had told me that you were right across. Yeah.
Right there, the Midtown. So there's a CEO, and Michael had talked about the differences between the cities on your morning show. Was it Tuesday this week, or was it?
No, it was Tuesday or Wednesday. I just thought it was interesting that, both of them are really, and this became a central theme in the presidential campaign, because this is where they lost a lot of their black vote. This is where they lost a lot of their Hispanic vote. In Chicago, they've had New York, $64 billion has been spent out of their budget on illegal immigration. And so, but what I was telling Vic was interesting is that in Chicago, the people get it. And they're in a city council meeting. We were featuring it in our Sounds of the Day.
Yeah.
And they're just ripping this mayor. The mayor is standing up while person after person is just ripping and talking about where they can find the money, your salary. Why you were for defunding the police and you have a 20-man detail. How about we save some money there? And he's just standing there defiantly. But to cross that in New York City, there's the mayor trying to explain to them. All right, I know you hear $64 billion, but you need to understand what $64 billion was going to pay for, what it was going to do for our schools, what it was going to do for our youth, what it was going to do for our elderly. And he goes, you should be outraged. You should be angry at what this administration has done to our city. And I just looked at Vic and I said, one city, the mayor gets it and the people don't. The other city, the people get it and the mayor don't.
No.
The worst mayor in America right there in Chicago.
It is freaking unbelievable. It's 64 million in New York City, but nationwide it's $280 million they've spent. And that's just what you know about.
Yeah.
Really, that's just kind of what you know about, because it's what you don't know about.
Yeah, of course.
That'll hurt you. So
the stuff we don't know about is anybody looked at what car insurance costs and how much could that be? 20 million illegals driving without insurance, and it's all being factored into actuaries. I mean, you could brainstorm about 15 things that are impossible to measure.
Well, it's funny because, the CEO for United Health that was gunned down in front of the Hilton, and we're still trying to find out who did it, but they're getting real close. That man was making $10 million a year. It's very unusual that he wouldn't have some kind of 24/7 security. He pops out right at the hotel where you're staying. He takes
by himself.
He was going to the coffee shop. The coffee shop's right in the corner.
Yeah.
There's a Starbucks right there. And so he's coming out of there and, but you know what? If you've ever noticed, all the TV commercials that include insurance companies, they're all some kind of a humoristic, progressive, liberty.
Yeah, it's like a humorous.
It's always humorous. You know why? Because there's nothing friggin' funny about insurance.
Yeah, that's right.
Nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
And
well, the old expression was always, insurance is for the things that you couldn't afford if they happened. Well, now insurance is the thing that isn't unaffordable.
Oh man, listen, it took me 3 years to fight to get my Ida money from Hurricane Ida. I have talked to attorneys that say this: anytime you go to make a claim with any insurance company, you got to expect a fight, because they're just not going to pay you unless you fight, and then you end up getting a lawyer and he gets 30%, blah blah blah. But
you're not saying in any way that the murder was justified or whatever.
No.
Because a lot of people have grievances.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that there's a lot of pissed off people out there about insurance.
There definitely is, yeah.
There is. And you can understand how something like that, some one wacko, that could possibly happen. But no, New York City, man, it's still, we went to the Pelican game, Michael, as I told you. The Pelicans were playing the Knicks. They were down 67-38 at half. Okay? That team is such a mess.
Yeah.
And so
it is the worst professional basketball team I think I've ever seen.
And let me guess, Williamson wasn't suited up to play.
No.
Of course not.
No, he wasn't.
Just a guess I took.
He wasn't even there. He wasn't there. No, he wasn't there. Now, what's his name? Jose Alvarado. He was there, but he wasn't dressed. He was in street clothes. But no, the whole starting lineup was out. Ingram was out. Everybody was out. But so here it is, halftime. We made this trip to go to Madison Square Garden, Michael. I'm taking pictures in front of the big skate. You know, they got this new entrance. And then at halftime, I just lean over to my nephew and I go, you know what? This sucks. Let's go to Little Italy. So we left it.
You left the game?
We left at halftime.
Oh.
See, had Vic had committed the crime, they would have found him in Little Italy.
They would have. We were on this one corner. It was Vinny. I can't remember what it was. Vinny something Street. Vinny Two Toes or the Vinny Two Toes corner or something right by the Cannoli King.
Yeah.
And we had this Cioppino. Oh my God. Unbelievable.
Now, what is that? Cioppino.
Cioppino is a pasta that's got all the seafood in it. Everything. It had lobster, it had mussels, it had clams, it had calamari. It was just unbelievable. It was just unbelievable. So, Michael, then of course we had the Bad Hotel, which I'm going to send you the video about the Bad Hotel and we can post that because you can see is believing. I can't even tell the story. It just hurts too much. Be back with more with Michael here in a minute, right after All Over the Road takes a quick break. We'll be right back.
The All Over the Road listener comment line. Say whatever you want. 24 hours a day. Tell a story. Give your opinion.
You'll be on the next podcast. So go ahead. Don't be shy. Call 504-603-6753.
Sharing is caring. And this Christmas, not only share your love and not only share your finances to someone that needs it more, but share the show with someone you love. All Over the Road to podcasting from right here in New Orleans. All right, with Michael Del Giorno with Premier Radio Networks, my little brother, and
National talk show host.
National talk show host
on the Premier Network, right?
Did you see
Premier
the
Radio?
Did you see the Patriot Awards last night, Michael? You had a chance to see any of that? Oh, wait, here he is. We lost him. Michael, you there?
Yeah, you hung up on me.
I know what I was doing. Did you get a chance to see the Patriot Awards at all?
I was standing there saying, I live at the beach. What?
We had to have Fox Nation to watch that, didn't you?
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it wasn't on. I don't think it was on Fox News Channel.
Okay.
Fox Nation, the paid extra streaming channel.
Do you got the Fox Nation?
Michael?
Sure.
Anything?
What's that?
You talking about Sean Hannity's Fox Nation show? Or
Yeah, well, they had the Patriot Awards last night.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I just wondered.
that wasn't on the regular Fox.
No,
Yeah,
did you
and
get
he
a
was
chance
the
to,
MC. Right?
You didn't get a chance to see any of it?
No, I was
Yeah, I haven't seen any.
Okay.
But I heard Trump made an appearance.
I saw the first quarter of the Lions game and I was gone.
Yeah, because you go to bed early.
Yesterday was a
You have
nightmare.
to.
Well,
Yesterday was move into the nursing home day.
and that's sad. That's sad. That's in that. But I'm gonna write you a nice big check for that. Okay.
Brother to
Like
brother.
Well, this isn't on the podcast.
I'd rather pay. I'd rather pay than play. I'd rather pay than play.
I need a massage.
Jeez.
Okay.
By
See, I
the way,
forgot.
have you seen the pictures of this assassin? I mean, he's like a handsome guy.
Is he?
I know he was flirting with the Starbucks girl, and that's how they got his picture. Oh my God! Because she said, "Let me see your face. Let me see your face." Just recently,
She said that to him?
Yeah, she did, and he took
The
his
Starbucks, the barista girl?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the.
Of course, she didn't know
so we
what
got a picture
happened
of
or
him
what was
smiling.
about to
Very,
happen.
Very, very handsome guy, honestly.
You know, I've only been to a Starbucks once with Ted, and it was in Lafayette, Louisiana, where he thought that the guy serving the coffee had a nice rack. That's what
I
he
thought
said.
you were going to say a Starbucks in Franklin, and he didn't call me then either.
No.
They probably have one in Franklin, though, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you didn't have a chance, I mean, of course you didn't. Maybe you did. I don't know if we have crossover listeners. Maybe we do. But Michael just recently did an interview with the Van Zant brothers, who just put out a Christmas album. Tell me a little bit about that interview and how that came about and some of the highlights.
Yeah, they well, and you know, the oddest part was, I mean, who doesn't like Sweet Home Alabama? Who doesn't like Free Bird? Who doesn't like That Smell? I mean, but other than that, I wasn't like a Skinnerd, but I loved 38 Special. So the awkward rub was I got the two brothers, Donnie and Johnny. Usually when they go on interviews, you know, everybody's fawning over Johnny because of Leonard Skinnerd. And, you know, if they're not talking about the brother. But I was more into like 38 Special, and Johnny kind of picked up on that and gave me a hard time. But yeah, they came out with their first Christian album. And, you know, and I thought, okay, you know, is it going to sound more like Skinnerd, more like 38 Special? That's interesting. These two brothers, what they've been through. I mean, how that crash shaped and reshaped their life. And, And then I was thinking Christian music, which this is going to hurt Ted's feelings, but I think it kind of peaked 79 to 84 and hasn't been that great since.
That's a long time ago to peak.
I don't know. All that was kind of was going through my head.
I was in junior high.
Absolutely, I will help. And so they come in studio and they send me the CD first, and I was blown away. I mean, Vic, you remember when we would get like the Mylon Lefevre or a new Petra or
Wayne Watson.
Wayne. I mean, this thing was it was like the old, the sound
Steve Camp
and the soul.
Steve Camp,
feel
like
they've
him?
lived it. Yes.
Yeah.
It's great
Yeah,
stuff.
guys like that.
And
I remember those
the brothers' harmonies are just spectacular. I think the first one they released, Ted, was Jesus, right? I think it's called Jesus or
Yeah.
And it's kind of rocky and it's good, but it's not. It's maybe my fifth favorite. I mean, the whole CD is just spectacular. And so I'm thinking, wow, now I really want to talk to him. And then when I met him, it was all overshadowed by that. I mean, they were just two of the sweetest, neatest, transparent, open people. Just fell in love with the both of them.
Which one was
it a great
in
thrill.
Lynyrd Skynyrd? Was it Johnny or Donnie?
Johnny took over for Johnny.
There was Ronnie Van Zant, which I believe he was killed, right?
Ronnie was the one that was killed.
Ronnie was the oldest brother who died in the plane crash.
Yeah.
Johnny was actually, I think, the youngest brother who took over for him.
Yeah.
Rossington and Collins went and formed, remember Rossington
That's right.
Collins band?
Yeah, that was.
And then Donnie went and started 38 Special. So that's kind of like the whole Van Zant family. But hearing them talk about, I mean, and both those brothers, they reminded me so much of me I talked about Vic in the interview because Vic was more like a father to me than a bigger brother. He was a big brother, but I mean, he filled a lot of voids that a father would have filled. And that's what Ronnie did with them. And so that was like losing their older brother, their kind of protector, their identity, and in essence, their father, all in one. I mean, those guys were lost. And so,
and I think it was in 74, wasn't it? The plane crash? Because I was in
76.
Or could have been 76. So you're probably right. I was at a concert of somebody else in Chicago, and I got out of that concert. I get in the car to go home or something, and I've turned on all these rock stations in Chicago. Remember the Loop and WXRT and all these stations? They're all playing Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Yeah, DAI.
I'm like, what's going on? Why is every station in Chicago, rock station, playing Lynyrd Skynyrd? Well, because of the crash.
It's funny when you think about the places you were when you hear music. It's news.
I just remember where I was when that happened.
Like, for instance, when John
Jim
Lennon.
Croce.
Well, when John Lennon was shot.
John Lennon, yeah.
When John Lennon was shot, I was working my first radio gig in Golden Meadow, Louisiana. My job was to babysit the automation and to do the weather and the ID at the top of the hour. Okay, that's all I did.
Yeah.
And
did you cut in with breaking news?
When it happened, it came in. The program director called me and said, they had albums out the what, and I just went and played, Lennon, and ironically, this is funny because when I heard about the Lynyrd Skynyrd crash, ironically, I was in a donut shop.
Ironically,
I was in a donut shop.
The odds are just there.
I'm the only guy in America that probably has donuts Uber Eats to the house. I've
heard you have very large apple fritters delivered to the house.
I do. I have big apple fritters delivered to me.
And pizzas.
Yeah,
apple fritters and pizzas.
Just and it's all on the Uber Eats, and but here's the deal: when you go to order donuts on Uber Eats, you got to order at least a half a dozen. You got to have They don't.
It's the minimum.
It's at least the minimum is a half a dozen.
At least.
I think attention deficit disorder runs in our family. Ted. What do you think?
I know it does.
And I was watching Monday Night Football when it happened live, but I think what's lost in all of that is. Remember how we were like robbed of John Lennon for like a decade and a half? He's living at home, raising kids. He does. I mean, we had Paul everywhere you look. George had some great music.
Ringo
had a couple of. But we finally got John back. It was at the height of when we're playing his songs and singing his songs. And then
Double Fantasy smash.
Double Fantasy, and then boom, this idiot takes him and kills him right in front of his house. Yeah, that was a big one. Jim Croce crashing was a big one.
Wasn't it called the Dakota?
Yeah, the Dakota.
Where he lived, there off of Central Park.
Yep, Central Park West. Yeah.
Central Park West. I was on B97 that night, I remember. Not when it actually happened, but after. Phones were like wild and crazy.
We were all doing some kind of radio
nonsense.
nonsense.
The Lynyrd Skynyrd plane crash, weren't they going to Baton Rouge or leaving? Baton Rouge. It was one of the two. There's some Leaving, maybe?
I think Leaving.
Yeah.
And then they crashed actually in Mississippi, right?
Yeah, I believe that's true.
Well, it's all
But, you know, one of the beautiful parts about the story we should get in, just in case someone's listening. So, you know, there's Leonard Skinner and, you know, Ronnie, and he's gone. And you talk about being mad at God. Now you took my brother.
Yeah.
They're all drug addicts. They're all partying. They're all, you know, you can only imagine having more women than the bleachers at Wrigley Field. But there was a constant thread. Their father, when they were all small children, used to preach, not in a church, in their home. So, they tell the story about how their dad would have Bible studies, and you couldn't even get up and go to the bathroom. And he would just, once he'd start, he could go 2 hours, 3 hours. So when they were all very small children, that was out there. Remember, you know, the scriptures of God's word doesn't return void, or parents who always wonder, am I doing anything right? And it was just, and all for these two brothers, everything they went through, and then finally that word that was in their heart as small children came back, and they prioritized faith.
That's amazing.
They're two really beautiful, wonderful brothers.
Yeah.
And when they harmonize, there's a couple of songs on that CD, and I'm not exaggerating, your hair will stand up. It's just unbelievable.
I want to get
really
it. I
love
haven't
them.
heard
And
it.
We're setting them up to come on your podcast.
Yeah,
As a
they're
matter
going to
of
be
fact,
on in a few weeks.
As a matter of fact, it's a major announcement we're making. We're going to have the Van Zandt brothers on our official Christmas show, and that show will air, I believe, the 23rd.
I don't know if it'll air because we're not on the air.
Well, no, it'll drop on the 23rd. It'll drop on the 23rd.
Yeah,
also, on an upcoming show, we're going to have Scott McKay from the Hayride on. Scott's always a great guest. We'll have him on.
Yeah.
And we have our Christmas top 10 Christmas songs, New Orleans Christmas songs of all time, coming up on our next show. So
we're just fortunate to have your brother Michael from Nashville on today because we tricked him.
We did trick him, and I will say this to you, Michael.
Did.
Yes, I did.
I think it's just interesting that Ted was in Franklin, didn't call, and now there's a Christmas spectacular that I'm apparently not invited on.
And I will say this: I think it's very flattering that you'd say the things you do say about me and how we were raised. And the thing is that I may have been a father figure. I don't know what I was, but we were thick as thieves, all three of us. We had to be. And thieves. I don't use that loosely. No.
The true sense of the word.
And
by the way, when you made that joke, and I don't use that term loosely, what vision did you get?
Which
I just
one?
want to see if they match. For me, I'm thinking of the restaurant at the Hilton in Kenner, and we were wahooing, and they caught Bobby.
All's Bobby had to do is get in the frickin' station wagon. That's all he had to do.
And you got caught?
No.
He got caught. Jake and I, of course, got away, and I think it was a lovely lunch, as I recall.
I will say this, though. There was a time, I remember the first Monday Night Football game that ever aired was in September of 1970, all right? And so we were living in Syracuse at the time at my grandmother's house on Rivoli Avenue, and so the first Monday night game's coming on. It's Keith Jackson, Howard Cosell, and Don Meredith, all right? And it was the Browns, and I don't know if it was the Dolphins, it was the Browns and somebody. I know it was the Browns. And so we go to the refrigerator and to get something to drink, and there's 2 Coca-Colas, and that's it. And there's 3 of us. Okay, there's 2 cans of Coke. Well,
I think I know how this plays.
And me being the big brother and being the one that kind of says this is how it's going to go, I say, well, this is how it's going to go. I said, I'm going to grab a Coke. And I'm going to give Michael's the baby brother. Michael gets a Coke. And Bobby, who's in the middle, I go, there was some apple cider. I go, you get the apple cider. And I go, you know what, Bobby? He goes, what? I go, then you can be the apple cider man. And he bought it. He bought it.
He's still upset about it today. I think he still, never got through that.
The only thing that Bobby took upon himself was to be Bobby Bombfire.
I was just going to bring up, my brother Bobby is a paranoid. He's a pyro. And he was always in charge of doing the fires in the fireplace, right? He's doing the fire and everything. And believe me, everybody knows this. He calls himself Bobby Bonfire. All right, and he sings a song about it. He goes, Bobby Bonfire. He can make anything.
When Bobby Bonfire comes
down with a
log. Yeah, it was really, you have to get him on to sing it for you.
I've never had Bobby on. I'm afraid to have him on. I really am. I'm afraid.
You can always just record and not air it.
Okay, so here's the big question, because we're wrapping it up here with my brother Michael. By the way, I will take pride in being the one that did raise a national talk show host.
Talk show host, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And, you know, especially when you get on WOR, they're used to having Don Imus and his brother.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big thing.
Yeah.
And, of course, I had a large audience in Nashville when he was at the other radio station. So, Michael, my question to you is when does the Big Brother make the debut on the big show?
You know, it's kind of similar to what you were saying about Bobby. I really want to do it. I'm a little afraid.
But Nashville loved me. Nashville, why would?
Well, you know, he's nationally syndicated now. The stakes are bigger.
Yeah.
Stakes are higher.
Yeah.
And
We could be in a lot of cities
means.
you're still wanted in.
Yeah.
I guess
You know,
so.
you got to be careful about that. Whenever you want is the answer. What do we care?
Okay.
Whatever
There you
you
go,
want.
whatever you want.
Let's wait on
Whatever
New
you
York.
Yeah. Michael Del
Prime
Giorno.
time New York. We'll go there and do it live. All right. Hey, Ted, it was great seeing you in Franklin.
I loved my time with you, buddy. Can't wait till the next
maybe
one.
the most I've ever enjoyed you.
When you get to Baton Rouge, give me a buzz. I want at least a text.
Count on, I won't.
I want to thank Michael Del Giorno from your morning show on Premier Radio Networks for joining us today. I also want to thank the king of conflict, Ted Semper, for being with me today. I am the king of all podcasting, Victor Del Giorno, saying God bless y'all. We'll see you next time. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Christmas.
Share the show because sharing is caring. God bless y'all.
Coming to Coin Trader Studios, we're bringing it live. And who am I? I go by the name of Darkest Night. And Jada Hoyos is the one who brings a sick beat, to which we're getting pumped for topics this week. So let me grab my great soda and take a sip, while I turn it over to Katie, Nick, Ted, and Vic. It's all over. We're all over the road. We got a brand new show, so just lo and behold, from the bayou to the city to the birds to the swamps, you better know what time it is when you're hearing that.
All right, you tricked me.
Okay, Moke, listen.
And I almost rushed my movie deal over this.
Yeah.
I cannot believe it.
What about the movie deal? Tell me about the movie deal.
I'm going to be playing a doctor.
You're going to be playing a doctor?
Yeah, it's not a stretch yet. They've really been there with Mom.
Is it a B movie? Is it a B? It's a B movie?
Yeah.
So
It's B.
That's fantastic.
It's B.
That's fantastic. I want to know about it. Are they going to shoot it in
You
Nashville?
never saw my first movie, did you?
No, I did not.
Neither did
Summer
I.
of '67. I was a naval captain.
I did see that. I did see a clip from that.
Worst movie ever made.
Is it on Netflix?
Well, it was one of those films where
I think it is.
It was one of those films where they had to blur out his face. That's what it was.
I wish I was in that.
Yeah. You're not talking about the
Dad,
cameras.
all joking
stuff.
aside, you ever come to Franklin again and don't call me, I will find you and hurt you.
Oh my God, that's threatening. No, it's one of the movies where they blur out the guy's face.
Yeah.
I thought you were making like a porn joke.
Yeah.
That really hurt my feelings, though, Ted. You know I'd love to see you.
Oh, come on,
Even if it
Michael.
was a
Get
hug.
over it. Really? I was in there for
Hanging
some
out.
business. I mean, come on.
So he had to hear it off. You
Hanging
saw.
out with K-Love, like a big shot.
Where did you see the pictures? Where did you see the pictures at?
Yeah. Oh, on Facebook.
Posted them all on Facebook.
Oh.
You know how he does.
See?
You know how he does.
Yeah, he does.
I'm a Facebook freak.
He
You
does.
don't love me anymore. It must be, it's all an act.
You never
You know,
call me. You never.
He's
text me.
Facebook and Hazel's
I don't-
Instagram because I could be up in the middle of the night, 3, 4 in the morning, and Hazel's on freaking Instagram.
Yeah.
Like 4 in the morning.
She loves Instagram.
I mean, 4 in the morning. I'm going, what the
Yeah, but
what's this woman
she
doing?
schedules her posts. She's not up at 4 a.m. posting.
No, when you go on there, it's got a little dot that says they're on.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I
yeah.
think she leaves. Well, it's always on.
She leaves her dot on?
I don't know.
No, she's on. I'm telling you, you're sleeping and she's chatting on the
Things I
freaking
don't even know
Instagram.
what she's doing. I maybe don't want to know.
You're too busy snubbing me in Franklin. She's probably got a boyfriend.
You still live in the same place?
Yes.
What's going on?
Andrea, ask me what you just asked me 13 seconds ago.
Have you called Jake lately and given him any updates? I didn't realize he was literally calling you.
Well, because I had this director wants me to be in a movie.
He wants you to be in a movie? What kind of movie?
I didn't know this, but did you know that 75% of babies with Down syndrome are aborted?
She's so sad because the doctor.
And so the movie's about that.
So is everybody there at the crazy house? Everybody's accounted for at the crazy house?
No, it's just me, Anna, and Andrea. It's a very uncrazy window at the crazy house.
Things put my Christmas tree up because the two most dramatic.
Of course.
I've taken a break from the Fifth Palace and I'm putting my Christmas tree up.
That's good, Andrea. Andrea, you're a saint.
I know.
You really
I
are.
had to put in another 4 hours today. How come I'm not a saint?
Because, quite frankly, you're just not. It's that time of year again. Chestnuts. Let's do
chest nuts. Nuts on the chest. Something like that.
Here we go.
Take two.
All Over the Road New Orleans is brought to you by CoinTrader Inc. For real-time prices on gold, silver, palladium, and platinum 24/7, go to goldpricesnow.com. That's goldpricesnow.com.